Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about the 8 public speaking competencies. These competencies were designed by the National Communication Association and developed as a way to help presenters grow. So we'll dive right in and talk about the presentation development. So first of all, you'll want to start with your research, information gathering, reviewing sources, evaluating sources, then outlining, creating your preparation outline, and then your speaker delivery notes that are based on your preparation outline. And then of course delivery and practice, practice, practice. Let's next look at the grading scale, just so that you're familiar with the rubric for the 8 public speaking competencies. So all of the presentations are evaluated on these 8 areas, and there's a scale of 1 to 5, and that means that starting out at 1 is unsatisfactory and it goes on up to 5, meaning mastery of that particular competency. And so you'll also find these in your materials. And just continued grading scale. The critique sheet is one that you will use to do peer evaluations, and I'm also basing the grade on this critique sheet. So again, in these areas, so that first competency, competency 1, assignment specifics, then competency 2 is the introduction, and competency 3, supporting materials, and all of these have overlap in them too. So all 8 competencies have overlap. So one thing you do in one competency could affect another competency. For example, vocal presentation could affect the understanding and whether somebody hears the introduction. Okay. And then competency 4, observable organizational pattern, competency 5, appropriate language, vocal presentation for competency 6, competency 7, pronunciation, and competency 8, nonverbal support of the presentation. So all the elements of each competency is contained within that section. So you'll see each of those 8 sections. Let's go ahead and start with competency 1. We'll go through all 8 competencies, but I'll do them in separate videos. So we'll go ahead and start with just competency 1, and then in another video talk about competency 2. And remember that there's supporting explanations and supporting material in the modules to help you understand these 8 public speaking competencies. I'm just giving you an overview. So competency 1, the assignment specifics, start with evaluating the presentation as a whole. So even though it's competency 1, it's a bit of a misnomer. It's actually to be evaluated last, because then you can look at the whole area. If the assignment specifics were there, evidence of preparation, information gathering, all of the parts of the presentation and assignment were present. So the introduction, body, conclusion, and that it's clear that the person was familiar with the topic and there's a smooth delivery. Continuing on with competency 1, the time stipulation. So you'll be given a time stipulation for the presentation, and the adherence to that time can affect the grade. Usually there's about a 30-second grace period. Assignment requirements are whether you adhere to that. If it was a visual aid, you might have a visual aid. If it's informative or persuasive. So some classes will do different types of presentations and some will just do the informative. So Com 111 and focus more on the informative with you, and then Com 241 does the different types of presentations. Competency 2, I'll begin in the next video.